Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Mega Man Quantum. Today on the list is Stone Man with a very orange level, and it's in the decidedly meh department. It has got one or two very special things I'm thinking about right now, dragging it down quite a lot for me, which sadly doesn't make it too fun to play. But we're going to burn that bridge when we come to it. First of all, a reintroduction of some enemy types we know and love from Mega Man 5, the splitting mets and these guys here, and a new platform because Minakuchi loves those. Strangely enough, it is not a tutorial for more of them later in this stage. Okay, there might be one or two, but the real meat of them is going to be in another stage where they don't get a tutorial at all. Our return trip here to properly dodge the stone thrower is nastily blocked off. And this guy is a complete asshole, because he will block your slide passage if you do not time it correctly. Fortunately, the stone platforms do respawn, so we can take him out from a safe distance and not have to worry about him anymore. The weapon energy is about to despawn, but I'm not having any of this ring boomerang to the rescue. The mats are strangely resistant to many special weapons which there weren't before, but Rain Flush takes them out. You have to lure them out, however, because it no longer pierces shields as it used to in Mega Man 4. These guys, and yes, there is going to be a second one later on, are the main reason for why I hate this stage so much. Okay, I do not hate it, I strongly dislike it, especially in comparison to any of the other stages in this game. The tracking AI on the missiles is bad enough, and as the game is now properly programmed, they do no longer despawn easily when getting off screen. They are really fast, and the screen size is rather paltry to work with, so you better take them out quickly or they will annoy you to no end. And then you of course have the issue of getting the hippo down to your level so you can actually hit it. It is possible to do this in one go with my method. Sadly enough, I kinda fucked it up here. I wanted to show it off, but it just wouldn't happen in the recording. And yeah, this more properly demonstrates how much of a pain in the ass it is to fight these assholes. Rain Flush can help a little to get down these last few points of health, but as you can see, it is very bad at actually getting the job done. These guys here, however, are really easily taken care of with the Buster. Which I'm going to gleefully exploit, even though I usually exploit special weapons, as you know by now. This is a very hard segment, because this guy here can trip you up very easily in conjunction with the stone blocks, and I got extremely lucky here, as you can see. Best way to do it is probably just use a special weapon and take him out quickly. For example, a pre-use Rain Flush or something like that. Destroyed a floor trap or a mouse or something here, I do not know, I do not care. Again, Rain Flush is pretty much one of the top weapons in this game, just because of its sheer versatility. The 2-hit alone is worth it. This is the respawn point for the level, which is bad for quite a number of reasons. First of all, the rather tricky jump to the spikes, and second of all, this bastard who is after the respawn point. Fortunately enough, I know how to deal with him very efficiently. The thing is just, you would be out of weapon energy after your next respawn, making this even harder. How do we get up here? Is it a very tricky rush jump? Nope. It's another rather interesting ability they programmed into these enemies here. They did not have this in Mega Man 5. A very neat idea, maybe not something you would think of at first and try and attempt a strange rush chat use, maybe, but it does actually work out like this, and I really like it. It is quite fun and ingenious. Something the game excels at doing, sadly enough not too much in this stage, but the spark of genius is still here. Now if I only remember how to use the napalm bomb correctly, great. We can deal with this section and move on. The bomb is of course also great against ground-based enemies that want to ambush us like these guys. And in a retread of an old room, as you can see here, the platforms are not a little changed, the falling stone ones, but overall just the enemy setup is different. It does do a great deal of avoiding the issue that the room actually feels copy-pasted, in my opinion. Do not need the E-Tank, by the way, I'm pretty much full by now. Sadly enough, we only can carry 4. And rather predictably, you get ambushed not only once, but twice here. And we got a little side passage, as all of these levels in the second iteration of rooms do. Some of them shorter, some of them longer. And this one here is one of the more nasty ones, because it doesn't actually lead to anything but a single extra life. And getting this extra life is quite the pain in the ass. You know, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the puzzle here, like if you had to lower the block like this or try to get up there, and it is almost impossible, because anything involving not using the ring boomerang, which kind of feels like cheating, but it does involve sliding back over a single block gap onto one of these stones. And as we saw in the Pharaoh Man video, this can be kind of tricky, because the blocks do not have exactly consistent hitboxes on the sides. Rather a shame. This means that it fails about 2/3 of the time, even though it should work crossing the one block gap, making this extra life quite futile, because you will probably just die when getting it. Some of you might have noticed that these sets of letters are really not hard to get. And you might also have noticed that this is an absolute dick move at the end here, and I hate it. Why did they do this? Come on, you're better than this, seriously. Another surprise at the end of this level might be for many of you is that Stone Man is now one of the hardest bosses in this game. This is 100% due to the fact that the screen size now makes his Power Stone incredibly efficient in dealing with you, and they programmed it so that he no longer uses it just when he is far away from you, because he cannot be. So all of the time he can randomly make himself invincible, pull out this Power Stone, and as they come in from off screen, they have to, of course, make it very, very hard to avoid them, and also his bulk. You're probably best suited to luring him over to you where you want him to be, like not trapping you in the wall, and then slide through the stones, or better even jump, because you cannot see them coming from below. It is rather a hard fight, and fortunately enough he goes down quickly, as has been the case with many bosses. Just damage raise them, that's the best. They're also going to great effort to show off that the best way to use Power Stone is of course in the middle of the room. They would have been pretty pointless if Mega had used it at the end. It is still a pretty bad weapon, though it is definitely better than in the NES because of the reduced screen size again. We're going to see more of it later. For now, thank you very much for your attention.